Hi class, my name is Meredith Bautista, and here is my presentation on Drew Brees. Okay, so to get started, here is my overview. We're going to start the presentation off with Drew Brees' background, as well as his major accomplishments and adversities. And then we're going to go ahead and tap into the sports psychology principles. So the ones that I listed were mental toughness, confidence in the zone, motivation and self-awareness, injuries, recovery, and return to play. We're going to go ahead and finish off the presentation with a conclusion. This includes overcoming obstacles and what's next for Drew Brees. And then we're going to list the references to end it off. Alrighty, so background. Drew Brees is widely known for his influence as a quarterback for the New Orleans Saints. He was born and raised in Dallas, Texas in 1979, and he also comes from a family background in football. His grandfather, who was a huge influence on him, named Ray Adkins, was voted one of the all-time great coaches in Texas high school history, and also had an uncle who led his club team to a state championship. As far as major accomplishments go, he started his football career off strong, leading his 5A high school team to a state title and earned Offensive Player of the Year in 1996. He was a 3-year starter at Purdue University and led the Boilermakers to their first Rose Bowl. He began his NFL career off with the San Diego Chargers, but ended up signing as a free agent with the Saints. One of his most infamous accomplishments was leading the New Orleans Saints to their first Super Bowl championship in 2010. Some of the adversities that Drew Brees faced was being overlooked by his dream colleges due to his physical stature and skill, as well as facing negative criticism from the media and coaches when not performing well with the Chargers. He also experienced a multitude of injuries, ultimately impacting the way he played. All right, so one of the first sports psychology principles we're going to discuss is confidence as well as mental toughness. So since Drew Brees experienced vast success in high school, earning Offensive Player of the Year, he had dreams of playing at Texas A&M. However, he experienced setbacks in which he was considered too weak-armed and too short by major college programs in Texas. This took a toll on his confidence, knowing that his hometown didn't want him. Based on the Handbook of Sports Medicine, self-confidence refers to individuals' beliefs about their abilities and/or expectations about achieving success based on these abilities. Drew Brees now felt as if he was not able to pursue his dreams because he's lacking abilities and now could not accomplish what he was expecting. However, he persevered and he understood that he was still capable of achieving future goals by applying mental toughness. Within the same handbook, elite athletes have identified self-confidence as one of the most critical mental skills, defining mental toughness. A key characteristic that distinguishes between more and less effective athletes is being able to maintain focus in the face of adversity. Basically, expect the unexpected. This was one of the defining factors in which he decided to play at Purdue University in West Lafayette, Indiana. Alrighty, so continuing on with the theme of confidence, we will now discuss the zone, also known as flow. Drew Brees had experienced vast success during his time at Purdue, which was from 1997 to 2000. He led the team to their first ever Rose Bowl. He set multiple school and Big Ten conference records for passing yards and touchdowns. And lastly, he earned academic All-American and nation's most outstanding player his senior year. This overall success led to Drew Brees finding confidence in himself. According to a systematic review on the relationship of psychological factors in flow, athletes in flow describe their experience as being totally absorbed and focused on a task at hand, feeling confident and in control. Confidence and mental toughness are essential elements of successful performance and enhances positive experiences. Hence why Drew Brees saw success continuing his football career in the NFL. So we'll go ahead and tap into both intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. In 2001, Drew Brees was selected as the first pick of the second round in the NFL draft by the San Diego Chargers. However, he quickly faced adversity when he failed to turn around the unsuccessful season and lost playing time to Doug Flutie. According to the previously stated systematic report, the study highlighted that external and internal associative strategies can facilitate performance. It was reported that intrinsic reasons could be utilized for training, whereas extrinsic reasons could be used for competition stakes. Drew Brees experienced both in that his playing time and competing with Doug was extrinsically based, whereas his training needed to be intrinsically based. I wanted to include the quote in which he states, "You have to feel like you're chasing something, like there's still room for improvement." I thought this quote was really good at encapsulating both, in which he was always chasing his playing time and competition with Doug, but intrinsically, he always felt like there was room for improvement. Next, we'll go ahead and discuss self-awareness. So in 2004, the Chargers recruited a rookie quarterback, so Drew Brees' days with the Chargers were assumed to be limited. Suddenly, he became very self-aware of the negative criticism he was getting from the media, and this ultimately led to negative self-talk, self-doubt, etc. Studies have found that the athlete's perception of support, whether from the coaches or media, shapes the athlete's use of positive or negative self-talk. According to this study, relationships with significant others can influence affective states of positive or negative thought. Ultimately, this led to a drop of confidence, questioning his abilities as well as future career with the NFL. Next, we'll discuss the psychological role of injuries and recovery. Brees experienced his earliest career injury during his junior year of high scholl, tearing his left ACL in the playoffs. This setback led to a drop of confidence, instilling fear of not getting signed for universities. This injury was also the deciding factor in his decision to play at Purdue University. In 2005, Brees endured a shoulder injury in the season finale with the Chargers. This ultimately made the Chargers question re-signing Brees for a long-term contract. This led to self-doubt and negative self-talk, questioning if he'll ever be able to recover and be as good as he once was. Research has highlighted the fact that injured athletes may experience feelings of diminished self-worth and frustration over an inability to perform related roles and contribute to the team's success. Ultimately, Drew Brees signed as a free agent with the New Orleans Saints in 2006. After injuries and recovery, we have return to play. So in 2006, Drew Brees experienced a 360-degree labrum tear, torn rotator cuff, and shoulder dislocation in which 13 anchors had to be surgically placed into his shoulder. Post-surgery, Brees had developed a fear of re-injury and struggled with confidence when returning to play. According to an article on the psychology of sports and exercise, the notion of continuing on the right path post-surgery is centered on the idea that one's injury did not cause a loss of potential, but simply delayed its realization. This helped Brees understand that his career is not over, simply just delayed, and improved his confidence while returning to play. Brees had overcome this adversity by leading the Saints to their season-opening victory just 8 months after surgery. Previous research reports that athletes described their injury as an opportunity to learn about their inner strength and commitment, and as an obstacle to overcome. I wanted to include a quote from Drew Brees in which he stated, "There was so much uncertainty. Winning that first game did so much for my confidence." This quote highlights the idea of his fear of re-injury as well as how much he struggled with confidence. Lastly, we have our conclusion. From doing this report, we learned how Brees had overcome a multitude of adversities and how this led to some of his biggest achievements. Not only that, we learned how sports psychology principles are applied to real-life scenarios through his experiences. Lastly, we have what is next for Drew Brees. He has his family life, a wife, and his 4 kids, his faith and the book he wrote on this, retired life and what that means to him, and lastly, him continuing his football career, not on the field, but on the sidelines, as a coach at his old school, Purdue University. That concludes my presentation, and here are my references. Thank you.